index, discussion index. Now the last leg in standardizing a question paper is reliability. What do you mean by reliable? We have seen in characteristic of a question. What is reliability?
Consistency.
Repeatability in
Score.
scores.
Repeatability.
Good. Thank you. Repeatability in score. Suppose if you are giving this question paper now, they are getting. I am getting 50 marks. You are giving your question paper to me. You are administering the question paper to me. I am getting 10 marks. After 2 weeks, if you are administering the same question upon me, I will be getting around 10 marks. If it is so, then your question paper is reliable. That is the meaning of that. If you are keeping the question paper on me, I am getting 10. After 2 weeks, the same question paper, I am getting only 2 marks, 8 marks difference. It means that maybe I have not studied, I am not well, all those things are there. But the question, I have to get around 10, which means that the question paper possesses reliability. If not, the question paper is not reliable. We have to go for moderation. We have to construct again. That is what it means. Okay. So in that there are two forms: test, retest, and parallel forms. So let us go to the concept and then we'll go to these types of reliability. And generally we use the normally in day-to-day life. The person A is reliable. What does that mean? If I say a person is reliable, what does that mean? We in day-to-day life we use no this phrase. This person is reliable. Liana is reliable. Narendran is reliable. Anaswara is all. You people are reliable. If I say these things, what does that mean? It means that you are showing your character again and again, the same character. Your character is almost constant. If you are a person who says truth, you are saying the truth in all the times. Or against that, if you're a person who lies, you are lying all the times. It means that you are a reliable person. Either it is a positive character or a negative character. That does not matter here. Your negative character, it means we have to change it. That is different. But the point here is if a character is repeated again and again, then that means that person is reliable. If the character is getting changed, what do you call that person? One time he is speaking truth, one time he is speaking lie. If the person is doing that, what do you call that person? It's very simple. What do you call that person? He's not reliable. That's all. He's not reliable. He has some personality problem. A thief is a thief. That's all. A thief means he's a thief. Wherever you keep him, he will take the things. That is the personality of a thief. If a good person is there, he will be good wherever he is. That is the personality. Okay. If one time I am good, if another time I am thief, then that means that I have some personality problem. Like multi-personality disorder. Something I have. Okay. So this is what the reliability concept means. Again, we have discussed with respect to question consistency or stability in scores. This is what I do example taking me as an example. Our question should produce the results of stability of the scores. So which one is reliable?
One,
First
sir.
one.
One is good, one is reliable. Two is not reliable. You are shooting in some many places. Whether one is valid,
No, sir.
one is not valid.
No,
Why?
sir.
It is not valid. If valid means what it has to be? We have to shoot here. If valid means we have to shoot in the bullseye. That is valid. Okay, then. How to measure it? There are two types of measures. One is test retest, the other one is parallel forms. Test retest is you are having the same test. Now you have one question paper. Let us call it as question paper A. You are keeping today the question paper called as A. You are keeping today. I mean 28th March. Then April 15th also you are keeping the same question paper to the same sample. That 10% or 10 sample. It means that test retest measures of stability. The other one is you have a question paper A, you have yet another question paper called B, which is prepared from the same blueprint. I said no, there can be many number of sets in case of question bank. Call the question bank. The blueprint is same. We won't be changing the blueprint. Blueprint is constant, but we can have plenty number of sets. We can prepare having the blueprint as constant. We can prepare almost 30, 40 different sets of question paper. Those we call it as parallel forms. There can be any number to the possible extent, but it is finite only. It is not infinity. It is finite only. So those are the A, B, C, D, E, F, any parallel forms you can take. These are called parallel forms. What are parallel forms? Questions which have common blueprints. Common blueprints, those are called different questions. Questions are different, not same. Different questions having same blueprints, it's called parallel forms. If you are finding the reliability between these, it is called as parallel form reliability, measures of equivalence. But we are not doing this not just for knowledge. The second one we are not doing just for knowing purpose. We are doing only the first one. Okay. So whatever you have given the question paper, after a week you administer them to the same sample. Let us find the reliability. Say after 10 days, give the same question paper to them and get the marks. Let us see how it can be. So this is explanation. What I am writing below it is the explanation. This is in visual forms. So I am conducting in April test A and 15th April test B after a gap of a fortnight. What is fortnight? What is fortnight? Fourteen nights, 14 nights are called as fortnight, which means 2 weeks. After a gap of 2 weeks, you conduct the same test, then that is called test reliability. If you have two forms, then that is called parallel forms, but this one for knowledge purpose, not for practical. Okay, how do you calculate reliability? Reliability is calculated by what is known as R, small r. This is called coefficient of correlation, R. Let us calculate that. Before that, we will know about correlation. What is a correlation? What do you mean by correlation? You have the example. Example also we can have correlation.
It is the relationship between two variables, sir.
Very good. What kind of relationship?
We cannot say the cause and effect, sir, but whether we can say whether it is directly proportional or inversely proportional.
Oh, that kind of relationship we call it as correlation. Okay. Yes. Okay. Your answer is correct. See, there are some concepts. Let us take height. Let us take height and weight. Let us take few person. A, B, C, D, E. Same persons here. A, B, C, D, E. If height increases, what happens to the weight? If height increases, what happens to the weight? It's easy only, no? If height increases, weight also
Increases.
increases. If height increases, weight increases, which means that there is a relationship. There is a relationship in the both the variables. If height increases, weight increases, and that if there is an increase in one variable which causes an increase in the another variable, then that is called correlation. Generally we can put, if there is a change in one variable which is accompanied by a change in another variable, then that is called as a correlation. That change can be under three types. If there is an increase in one variable and that causes increase in another variable, then that is called as a positive correlation. If there is an increase in one variable which is accompanied by a decrease in another variable, then that is called as
Negative correlation.
negative correlation. If there is increase in one variable which is not accompanied by any change in the other variable, it is called as
No correlation or zero correlation. Sir.
zero correlation. Hence, correlation are three types: positive, negative, and zero. For positive, the example is height and weights, temperature and pressure. If you increase the temperature, pressure also increases. What is the example for negative? Physics, you can easily say. One you have to increase, the other it will be decreasing. What is the example for that? In physics, you can tell. Pressure and volume. What is the correlation between pressure and volume?
Negative correlation, sir.
If pressure increases, volume decreases. So this is negative correlation or inversely proportional. Okay. What in terms of psychology in humans? This is from physics. You can take achievement and stress. Achievement and stress both are negative correlation. If stress is more, achievement is less. If stress is less, achievement will be more normally. Suppose if we are under stress, no, we will not be able to read. We will not able to write. Mark will be less. So low stress means high achievement. High stress means low achievement. Zero correlation. Any example for zero correlation? Those two variables are not at all related to each other. Any subject, it can physics or psychology or education, any subject. Yes.
Studying physics will not help to learn riding, sir.
Correct. Studying physics will not be able to riding vehicle or two-wheeler or a cycle. What is that vehicle?
We can take anything, sir.
Okay, whatever it is, but anyway, learning physics will be helpful in riding vehicles, because physics helps us always in riding any type of vehicle, because we are learning motions from that, movement, motions, accelerator, all those things are physics. I will say one example. Our skull size and intelligence, size of our skull and intelligence. It does not mean that if you have a high skull size, it does it mean that we are highly intelligent? If we have low skull size, does it mean that we are lower in intelligence? It does not mean that. There is no correlation between skull size. It is only the thing is how you apply your knowledge. That's all. If you apply your knowledge well, then your intelligence is high. If you does not apply your knowledge, your intelligence is low. It does not depend upon the case in which it is encompassed, like the skull. Inside the skull only brain is there. So it does not depend upon the size of the skull. It only depends upon how you apply. So all these three are examples, and that is what I have described in following slides. If a change in one variable appears to be accompanied by a change in another variable, those variables are said to be correlated, and that is correlation. The phenomenon is correlation, and it is measured by coefficient of correlation, which is called as R. That can be of three types: positive correlation, negative correlation, and no correlation. And we have discussed the example. Height and weight, intelligence and achievement, negative correlation, pressure and volume, happiness and stress. Negative correlation. Zero correlation, singing and arithmetic. If I am a singer, it does not mean that I will do the mathematics. No, it may not be. Or otherwise, if I do the mathematics well, does it mean that I will be a singer? So it's a zero correlation. So these are the mathematical graphical examples. Positive. What will be the graph for a negative correlation? If positive correlation is like this, what will be the line for negative correlation? So it will be like this. See the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Y also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, it is like this. Okay, this is negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, negative correlation. And this is zero correlation. It will be haphazard. It will be, if it is haphazard, it is negative, zero correlation. So by seeing the graph itself, we can say whether both the variables are correlated or not. Then the correlation coefficient, which is what we are going to find, it is a number. It is a number. It tells at what extent that variations of one variable changes the variations of another. And what is the range of correlation coefficient? How many values? Yes, what are the possible ranges? Huh? Yes.
-1, 0, 1.
Thank you, thank you. Same, correct. -1, 0, 1. As like discrimination index, -1, 0, +1. Same, as like discrimination index. Okay. There are many or different values like product moment, rank, or all those things. Don't worry about it. For us, only product moments. For us, only product moment. There are different types, but we will take this one only. And let us see how this is being calculated. And it is invented by Carl Pearson. And it is called by two names: product moment correlation coefficient, or otherwise Carl Pearson correlation. Carl Pearson correlation coefficient, because he invented. Like Raman's effect is being named after Raman. Like engine discovered by Carnot being called as Carnot engine. Same thing. And this is the formula to calculate R. R is equal to, I mean, that is not R, it's a rho. This is Greek letter, and this is rho. Looks like R in English. So this is a rho. So rho is equal to xy divided by n into standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y. So we will calculate this easily. R is the product moment. And what is that x? That small x is the deviated score from the mean. Each score, each student is scoring that value. That is called as x. And for all the 10, you add it, and if you divide by 10, you will get the mean. How far the score is distant from the mean, we call it as deviation. I think you are understanding. Otherwise, I have to go to here also. I'll also explain here also. The same thing will be coming on the lay. The later slides will show the example. Again, y is also deviated score from the mean. N is the total number of pairs of score. Standard deviation in x and standard deviation in y. Let us see how it being calculated. So this is the original formula, xy divided by n into standard deviation of x, standard deviation of y. See the standard deviation of x, we have, this is the formula. Square root of sigma x squared by n is the formula. You apply here for x and y. That formula is applied here. And if it is summated, you'll be having the overall formula for rho is small x into small y divided by square root of sigma x squared by sigma y squared. That is the final formula. These and all will be getting cancelled. Now it is enough that if you know small x, small y, and its squared summation. If you know that, you can calculate R. It's very easy. Now I'll go for the same 10. You people have the same 10. As we have said, we are not going for parallel form. You administer the test in 2 times, now and after a week. Get the scores. Now calculate the means of x scores, calculate the means of y score, calculate the deviation, calculate xy and xy. I'll be doing it one by one, step one by one. The first step is mean of x and mean of y. See, this is what. These are the 10 students, sample 1 to sample 10. Today you are giving, that is test A, the same test, and don't go for parallel forms. This is also test A. It is kept in after a week or 2 weeks. Normally 2 weeks will be better. But 2 weeks will be having April 14th or 15th, like that it will be going for roughly. So after 2 weeks, you keep the same question paper and these are the marks. And for test A of today, it is this is the mean 35.5. Same test A after April 14th or 15th, this is the mean. So add all divided by 10, you will get the mean. Okay. This is test A and test A at another time. Now you have to go for small x and small y. How you have to go? Now we have given. So small x is equal to mean of that divided by the score. So mean you have, this is a score is there. This is the total. This is the mean. Mean minus 35.5 minus 31, that will be 4.5. And this is for test A of today, and Y is for test A of after a 14 weeks, 14 nights, 2 weeks. The same method. So we have to calculate mean minus the particular score, you'll be getting small y. So you got small y, small x, that which means deviated score. Now you have to calculate xy. Just add it, multiply it, you will be getting xy. Next one, you have to calculate x square sigma x square and y square sigma y square. So x is there, from here x square. Y is there, it is y square. The summation is sigma x square. At the bottom you see summation x square, summation y square. You have summation xy. This is xy of each student, and it will be having summation. Addition is summation, that's all. So now you have all the things. Now you can go for calculation. The summation x square divided by square root of summation x square and summation y square. That is what you have in the previous step. Summation x square into summation y square. Now you get the value +1, which means that it is highly correlated. But one thing you have to remember, I have taken a positive hypothetical value. The same scores I have taken hypothetically. Same 31, 31, 32, 32. Same thing I have taken, which may not be for you. Okay. All the scores may not be equal, but one or two may equal, but all the scores may not be equal. So this is how it is being calculated. And as like the previous, these are the benchmarks. Plus one is positive, plus or minus one, plus or minus one. Plus means perfect positive, minus means perfect negative. Plus 0.9 to 0.9, that is very high positive. Minus 0.9 to 0.9, that is negative correlation, very high negative correlation. Like that, it will be going for all for all values, minus 1 to 0 to plus 1. So what is the judgment call is that if it is more than 0.7, then you can consider our test is good. If it is less than 0.7, then it is ours is not a good test paper. Question paper, you have to go for moderate, you have to go for rejection. That is what the understanding from the relativity score. Okay. So with that, so the value plus 0.7 and more are reliable questions. 0.7, plus 0.7. Okay, with that, we end this class. I will summarize of today's class. We have learned two things: discrimination index and reliability. Discrimination index is that one which differentiate a performer and a non-performer. The discrimination index value and the concept it is it's directly proportional, and we have ranges starts from -1 to 0 to +1, and we have benchmarks. Normally 0.2 and more is taken as a good value, and that will be selected. That is what discrimination index. Reliability is that we have to get a consistency. Our question paper, whenever we have to get the same, the students has to get the same value. That we call it as consistency in scores. There are two types. One is test retest, the other one is parallel forms. Parallel forms, we will be having two different question paper for the same blueprint. We are not going for parallel forms, we are going for test retest, measures of stability. Give the test today and give the same test again after 2 weeks, then go for correlation, and the formula is very easy to calculate. This is the formula. Rho is equal to small xy divided by square root of summation small x square summation small y square. So this is a formula. With that you can calculate. So I have also given a demonstration. Also this will be